So welcome, Chris. We so appreciate your leadership. And as always at SETC, begin all things by giving thanks to the original stewards of the various lands we're on. We give thanks to all our ancestors, all those who toiled without compassionate compensation. We give thanks to all our elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, and learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. So Chris, can you please introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers and share a bit about your remarkable work, sir?
Hey, everybody, I'm Chris Carter. I'm the Executive Director of the Office of Innovation and Entrepreneurship at the Schulich School of Business, the leading business school in Canada and around the world. I'm a lifetime entrepreneur, more recent angel investor and advisor in my last 5 to 10 years. And I love huge challenges, big dreams, and supporting people who are out to achieve them.
I love that. Thank you so much for your leadership, Chris. I think we met like 8 or 9 years ago, and your work has always been inspiring. So my next question is, what's inspiring you right now? What has you curious, or what's keeping you up at nights?
What's inspiring me always is the wave, the generation of amazing young people that I get to work with at the Schulich School of Business at York University. All of their ideas and their hope and their belief and their vibrancy and the things that they want to build and to make happen. I'm especially inspired in working with so many new Canadians that are joining the school to pursue their dreams and doing what I call the triple jump, which is one jump is they're going to change their sector. They've come from a particular sector and now they're coming to work in a new sector and study new things. 2 is they're looking to change their role. They're looking to elevate themselves. Maybe they were like an amazing project manager, but now they want to be more strategic. They want a leadership position. And 3, as if the first 2 weren't enough, they're making the bold and courageous leap to cross the world and change geographies and make that jump. What an amazing thing to do. We all think about, the challenges that we have in our own lives when we get up every day and we just go out to live and just go out to do what we were already trained to do, to go out and work in a sector that we've already embraced or has embraced us, hopefully. And we have often, lived for an extended period of time or have grown up in this country. So I really love working with people who are making that triple jump from around the world to change their lives. And it brings me a lot of joy and pleasure to work with them. Keeps me inspired every day to try and help open new doors and to listen to what it is that they want to achieve. And at the same time, they're teaching me so many things as well about life and about dreaming and about taking risks. So I really love the environment that I get to work in, and that inspires me a lot.
That's incredible. So my next question is, what are some of the challenges and barriers you and your colleagues are approaching, and how are you trying to overcome some of these challenges and barriers?
It's a good question, and I think I'll give you 2 examples. One is on the career front for these young, brilliant people, and one is on the entrepreneurial front. I think in both cases, I think, we're a country that likes to tell the world that we're open and that we're welcoming and that we everybody can just come here and set up shop and everything is doors wide open. We love you. We want you here. We want you to help build the country. But I think there's a lot of intense systemic barriers that are set up all throughout the companies and the organizations, government, and all sorts of systems that are out there that really intentionally work to block access to those paths and those futures and to fight against the dreams that people have. I think, none is ever, one that is always present to me is just the level of risk aversion within organizations that are looking to hire new people. And they're always looking for people to be like, do you have Canadian experience? Do you have localized experience? And there's an incredible amount of really unrealistic and to be honest, quite offensive ego that comes from the Canadian position often when they're looking to question these people that are coming from around the world. For example, we have many students that come from India, and a Canadian employer would say, what local experience do you have doing this work? Well, this person who's our student, soon to be graduate, may have worked at an Indian company that this Canadian employer has never heard of before because they're living in a very closeted world and they haven't actually heard or embraced the great Titan technology brands of India. And so when the person looks at them and says, you know, I was number, employee number 100 at a particular company in India, this person looks at them like, okay, but have you worked for like at least a 20-person company here in Toronto or anywhere in the country? But we're part of building a company that dwarfs and actually like surpasses and is like magnificent in scale compared to the largest company in our country doing the work. And they have so much to offer from that journey and from that experience and what's been achieved. So it's quite ridiculous, harmful, and racist at its core, to have these kinds of barriers thrown up in front of people in their journey. Now, of course, our students who come to Schulich are blessed and benefited as well, though, by the network, the brand, that access that comes with coming through like an iconic business school. And yet still, people face this. So I think myself and my team, as it relates to helping the people who come and work with us through our programs at the school, are very like, intent on working on this on two fronts. One is providing experiences and access that directly address the question that's immediately at hand for these students, which is, how do we get them localized experience, but that is meaningful, that is working in a senior responsibility, that is strategic in nature, that is not sending them into like, positions where they're having to completely rebuild from the bottom up. And how do we create opportunities to give them like relationship with top leaders within that network? And we've been very successful at that. And within the tech and startup space, we produce programs that now do 100 plus placements of that nature to get students like connected in that way as they're entering the country. So I think that's important. And we really want to keep working on that. That's on the day-to-day. As it relates to the larger issues, we're really trying to ask questions to challenge that with employers on a broader basis, have conversations about that, try to use our influence to have people think more deeply and to pick up the phone when necessary and call people and try to advocate for that. It's a big problem, and we're a little part of working on it, but it's something that I think Canadians should be challenged. Canadians holding positions of privilege and power should be challenged to question themselves and think more deeply about how they're making these decisions. And number two is that this same challenge is something that's in place for international and immigrant entrepreneurs who come to the country, where we tell them like, come on board, come through the startup visa program, come and like get signed up and like, build the country with us and bring your ideas and bring all these things. But then there's like a conservatism that is also inside the Canadian mindset that says, well, are you really going to succeed? Do I really want to open that best door for you? Am I going to invest in you? Am I going to actually like take a risk on you and give you access to those top clients and relationships and networks that I have? Or do you need to prove yourself all over again? Do you need to like show me you can actually survive and then I'll open the door, right? So these are like ugly truths that I think a lot of people know, but a whole other group of people are like have decided to be oblivious to, even though they're experiencing it and watching it happen all day long. On the entrepreneurial side of things, a project that we're doing right now, which we're really excited about and feel blessed for the opportunity to work on, is called Project Jumpstart. And it's in York Region. And it's a way that we're working as the university, the business school, the accelerator at York University, Y-Space, has been a key lead on this. And then with a local innovation agency and accelerator called Tree Frog out of Newmarket, Ontario, working with the York Region government. And we're designing an entire approach to how we onboard international entrepreneurs into the region to give them better immediate support, access, open doors, mentor relationship with top executives, government officials, and really help not just to say, hey, come set up shop and like good luck and hope it goes well, but actually get on board to like open those doors. So these are some of the things that I'm like really interested in working on with my time, and also some types of programs that we're designing and creating to try and help make change. but it's much bigger than what we can do. It's something that is a conversation that needs to be had by Canadians across the country to understand if we really are going to like open our doors and embrace people, like what does that mean? What is our promise and what's our commitment to them?
That's incredible. I really appreciate, well, one, the remarkable work that you and your colleagues are facilitating on behalf of so many, and most importantly, all that context. It's truly inspiring. So once again, I really appreciate and applaud your leadership. This is a perfect segue to my next question. What is your ultimate goal, and what does success look like and feel like to you and your colleagues?
What a great question. Success for me looks like 100, 1,000 different emails, phone calls, messages, WhatsApp, wherever you hang out online, moments where the people who we're working to support and to be in relationship with and to build up just as they build us up at the same time, when they have those moments of breakthrough, when they have those moments where they've gotten to that next level, that next opportunity, either with their business or either with their career, with life in general, prosperity, and they reach back and they either privately or publicly express that the environment that we created, both with the Schulich Business School and York University, but also with the Schulich Startups program that I run specifically, which is the startup ecosystem for the school. When they take a look at that and they say, that was a group of people who cared, this was a group of leaders who cared, and they really like went above and beyond. They didn't just talk, they actually got involved, they opened doors, they called people, they like, made it happen and allowed those people just to shine with all the brightness that they already have in their lives, but just gave them that opportunity to get through the door. So success looks like that, level one. Level two of success is now watching that become a cultural commitment and an energy design that is in the community that we've created. And so more and more people are leaned into doing that for each other. More and more people are like, yeah, I want to help with that, who are established Canadians. And more people who have come as new Canadians and gone through that experience have their hand up and say, like, give me the next person in line. I want to help that next person. I want to carry that forward. So for ourselves who are designing the Schulich Startups community, I think ultimately, if you were to like even project it past my eventual retirement, which is nowhere near, but it will come down the road. And hopefully this is a community and this is something that as it continues past me and my colleagues who have been building it with me, that this is something that, eventually there'll be like 20,000 people that will be in the country that will like look to that design and that community and that support and say that it made a fundamental, positive impact in their world and in their lives. So I think that is like when I'm getting to the end and when I'm like sitting back and like, hanging out wherever that may be. Sometimes I think that may be in Toronto. I also love Nova Scotia and think about eventually one day retiring to Lunenburg, beautiful little artistic community out on the coast. Maybe I think I would like to look back and see if we could get to that level of having, made an impact on 20,000 people in that way. I think that would make me smile.
Well, it makes me smile. Yeah, so
Awesome.
my last question is, do you have any closing thoughts or calls to action for our listeners and our viewers?
I think that I would like, in the theme of what I've been talking about today, I would like people to understand and reflect on the fact that new Canadians bring so much to our lives. And right now we are in a world where there is a lot of, pushback on international students and the limits that the government has set, or a reduction in the startup visa numbers, and a general, feeling that, immigration and that, how we view new Canadians, has turned a little bit towards the conservative and the negative and the, lack of full belief. But I would say that this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like if we want to actually like grow as a country and build together and build with people coming from around the world, which is an absolute imperative for us as we continue to build the nation, then we should all be individually committed to that as well too. And so see that as a collective promise that we've made, and a collective promise, not that we just are like, yeah, let's shake hands, let's say, hey, welcome, oh yeah, great, we're happy that you're here, but that a promise is something that is tied to access and information and networks. And each one of us can take 50 moments during the year where we can open the door a little bit wider for people, and collectively that will not only be the right thing to do, it is the thing that will lead to our collective community success. So I'd say, yeah, take that moment and take a risk on people. And when they're here and newly arrived and experiencing everything that the country has to offer and have big dreams, invest in their dreams as well too.
Well, congratulations, and I really appreciate all those incredible sentiments and your visionary leadership and solidarity, and most importantly, your commitment to community economic developments. What you and your team is doing is truly remarkable, so I applaud you for all that you're doing for so many. And as always, at SETC, we close this interview, this conversation, by giving thanks to the original stewards of the various lands we're on. We give thanks to all our ancestors, all those who toiled, without compassion or compensation. We give thanks to all our elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, and learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Victor. I had a great time chatting with you.